Vice President Biden is set to kick off another round of debt talks between lawmakers this afternoon. And today's meeting is one of 3 scheduled this week. But is there enough time to strike a deal? For more on that, we bring in our Washington executive editor, Al Hunt. Al, is there enough time here? I mean, we're down to the wire.
Well, we're down to the wire for the July 4th deadline that the president said he'd like to have a deal. We're not down the deadline as to when the debt ceiling really starts to cut, which is probably more like early August. I am still a little bit skeptical that they'll be able to get something done in the next week, and they'll probably postpone it until July. The key right here, Margaret, is whether they can dress up what really amounts to tax increases and call it by a different name. Tax expenditures, whatever have you, because the Democrats will tell you privately, we're not going to let the Republicans off the hook on Medicare by doing something on entitlements if they still maintain their rigid posture on no tax increases. And if you don't do either entitlements or taxes, you can't do a whole lot.
No, but the criticism's often leveled that, you know, you can't even see in Washington a clear agreement on the goal for the amount to cut. I mean, we know what the Biden group and the group of 6 want there, but we don't really have even a number in mind.
No, except what we want to do is to try to get debt as a percentage of GDP to a more reasonable level by 10 years out. No one thinks there's a short-term crisis as far as debt and deficit are concerned, but almost everyone agrees there is a longer-term chronic problem. In fact, short-term, you can make a case there ought to be a little more stimulus.
Well, we've heard that. We heard that from Bill Gross himself today, saying, you know, payroll tax holiday is not going to be enough. Government needs to do more. That's something you're going to hear from some of these presidential candidates, but none of them are going to want to say they want to spend to do it.
No, tax cuts become a convenient vehicle for Republicans. They don't tell you whether they're going to lose money, whether they're going to pay for them. They don't tell you whether they're long-term or short-term solutions. And Democrats have been largely silent.
Yeah. Well, we do know Jon Huntsman made it official the job he's looking for today. He's going to be running for president. I mean, how do you expect him to communicate an economic policy here? I mean, how's he going to differentiate himself from everyone else?
Well, he has a record, a pretty good record as governor of Utah. He's been active with their big multinational corporation. He's also going to stress civility today. Now, that's the real test, because, frankly, civility has not been a winning issue the last couple elections. And we'll see if Jon Huntsman can play out of the box on that.
Well, when you say civility, does threatening secession count for civility? What about Rick Perry? Is there room in here for him?
Oh, you're right. Rick Perry wants to, you know, he's an anomaly. He's become the flavor of the month, for the flavor of the week for movement conservatives. They love the red meat he feeds them. He is longest serving governor in America. On the other hand, in Texas, you talk to some Republicans who still refer to him as Bush Light, as in W. And he has always been underestimated. He's had primary challenges. He won re-election once with less than 40% of the vote. And he did, at one point, raise the issue of secession, which I think we settled about 150 years ago.
So, well, presumably he's running for president of all of the states this time around, but
all 50. He's going to include the other 49.
He'll leave Texas in there. But what's in your notebook, Al? What are you watching?
You know, everybody knows that President Obama has problems in the economy. I think he is courting serious problems on foreign policy. The White House dismisses critics like Richard Lugar, who have really gone after Obama on Libya as well. He's in a re-election. It's much deeper than that, including among members of his own party. It remains inexplicable why this administration thinks they don't have to consult Congress and work with Congress and get a vote of approval on what clearly is a war. To say we're not at war in Libya and that we're not after Gaddafi is just simply not the case, Margaret. And I think they have to either count on getting Gaddafi out and be lucky in the next couple of weeks, or they're going to have to reverse field and go to Congress.
Al, we'll watch. Thank you very much.